In January 2017, Azaru went for a hike in Broga Hill, Malaysia. But by the end of the day, he was nowhere to be found. Where did he go? Rescue team and volunteers scoured the area but couldn't find a single trace of this boy. Then 7 days later, he mysteriously reappeared on a trail on Broga Hill. Apart from being slightly dehydrated, he was perfectly fine. No broken bones, no bruises. When asked what happened to him and where he went, he said he was taken by 4 elves to Alam Zara.
Yang jaga saya tu bunan. Ibu 2, anak 2.
Alam Zara is the realm of the hidden elves. He interacted with them, spoke to them, and even remembered what they wore. One of the elves even asked for his hand in marriage.
Masa mereka tanya nak kahwin dengan dia ke tak?
Before we get into the story of Malaysia's hidden elves, let's grab some snack and talk about something that we've introduced before. YouTube's new shopping feature with Shopee. I'm gonna cut to the chase because if you've been watching my videos, you would know that YouTube shopping with Shopee is quite a game changer in the scene. Creators like myself can now tag products in videos, live streams, and shorts. So you as a viewer can shop without breaking your YouTube marathon. And here are some of the products that I have and I've been ordering from Shopee. One of you guys actually recommended this to me on one of my Shopee live streams.
63% yes. I've seen this on TikTok. Wait, let me see. This guy actually has quite a big forehead. Right, do we buy tiramisu?
It's the tiramisu by Cake So Marvelous. This tiramisu is awesome, man. The link is in the description if you guys want to try it out. Look at it, so cute. You wanna try? Oh, that's a big ass bite, man. And then we also have the Game Boy emulator, the R36S game console. And this thing is a beast, man. There are like thousands of games in here. And it's all inside a micro SD card that they provided for you. All the games are stored here. You have Mario, all your nostalgic racing games. I highly recommend this. The link is in the description if you guys are interested. And of course, we have our partner in crime, one of our best friends, and I'm sure it's Annabelle's best friend because I always see this fan hanging around her neck. It is our Jisoo Live fan. It's supposedly the #1 portable fan brand, and we have 3. We have 4. This one I use in my house, and we use this to cool sister as well. If sister is alone, we just turn this on, put it near her bed. And these ones are the ones that we carry on our explorations, on our adventures, or if we're out shooting in Singapore's humid weather. You can get this in the link in the description. And what's more, you can get it at a discount with my promo code. With the promo code YTSXSneakySushi with 2 I's. This is the promo code. You can use it. You can get 30% off with a minimum spend of $15, capped at $15 if you use my promo code. The discounts are directly applied on the products tagged in this video. But if you decide to purchase something else, just use the code YTSXSneakySushi. So all the products that you see here, if you click in the description, the discount is already automatically applied. But you can still use the code on any other products on Shopee. Thank you, Shopee, for sponsoring today's video. Hello, my friends. Today we're talking about Malaysia's hidden elves, also known as the Orang Bunan, a very popular folklore or myth in Southeast Asia. And I think we've spoken about it briefly in one of our videos before. Apparently, there are quite a lot of compelling stories about the Orang Bunan. We'll dive into them and maybe debunk them and see whether the Orang Bunan is actually real or not. This is a very fascinating folklore in Southeast Asia, steeped in history and many true stories as well. So, what is an Orang Bunan? The Orang Bunan translates to hidden people, and they are people of the forest who look like us humans but are thought to be more beautiful and eloquent looking than us because we look like shit, we look like primal apes. They possess exceptional beauty and are often described as having luminous skin and would adorn themselves with white dresses and white robes with golden jewelry or armor. Very royal looking, as you can see from the photo here. Looks very epic, very atas. High class looking. They are also said to look like elves with pointed ears and a lack of a philtrum. So the philtrum is this thingy above your lip, this hole. If any of you guys don't have a philtrum, congrats, you're an Orang Bunan. Well done. Go back to the forest, you Orang Bunan. Either that or you possibly have fetal alcohol syndrome.
What's fetal alcohol syndrome?
It's when your parents drink alcohol when you were a baby. One of the symptoms is that you will be born without a philtrum. There are certain characteristics also of babies that have been born when their parents were drinking alcohol. One other symptom is like your eyes are like a bit more wide apart. You can Google fetal alcohol syndrome. Then you see the images of the babies, they all look a bit off.
Alright.
A common sign that you're near an orang bunyan is the smell of fresh cooking or frying, as if someone is cooking for a feast, and this smell is meant to lure people into that direction. But will it lure people though? I mean, if you smell like KFC or fried chicken in the forest, you'll be quite scared, right? You'll be like, what the f***, who's cooking? The orang bunyan have their own territory, with kings, queens, clans, and a proper hierarchy. And this kingdom is only accessible by going deep into the forest. But only a few select people can see the civilization. People with a third eye, and only people that the orang bunyan allows to see. This kingdom of hidden people is called the Alam Zara, and in this kingdom, the sun never sets, as the orang bunyan don't require any sleep. One tribe in Borneo called the Kadaza Dusun tribe believes that our universe consists of 7 layers. Us humans occupy the 3rd layer. The first layer is the underworld, where demons and hellish deities reside, and the top layer is where the supreme god called Minamangan resides. And somewhere in between these realms is where the realm of the jungle spirits, hobbit people, and fairy beings reside in, which is the layer of the orang bunyan. The orang bunyan are generally regarded as friendly and helpful, and they often befriend or assist humans, so quite benevolent forces. They are generally friendly, and they tend to befriend witches and shamans because they are the ones that are able to communicate with these orang bunyan, these spiritual creatures, more easily by whatever methods that these bomos use. But if you disrespect them by damaging the forest or urinating on trees, that's when you might piss them off, and they'll trap you in their realm. So next time you go to the forest, or any of you NS boys, don't piss in the jungle. Actually, we are trained to piss in the jungle. Our latrine point is in the jungle. We shit on the tree, pee on the tree,
You shit on the tree?
and shit in there.
Is that a requirement? Like it has to be beside a tree, or it can be anywhere?
I mean, where else are you gonna shit beside your buddy's tent?
I don't know. It has to be beside a tree, or it can be like any
Can be anywhere
patch.
lah. But usually we have a latrine point, yeah, where everyone goes to shit. But if you're, I'm sure during wartime there's no latrine point lah. You just have to shit in the forest.
Wait, so everybody shits in the same area? Isn't it gonna be?
It's fucking stinky lah. It's
Oh
damn
my
stink. So
God.
I guess everyone in the army, you are being haunted by an orang bunyan, or you have disrespected an orang bunyan. But other than that, they are said to be nice people and even able to intermarry with us humans and even bear invisible children. I'm not sure how you're gonna look after your invisible children if someone manages to marry and interbreed with an orang bunyan. But hey, that sounds like very low maintenance child rearing invisible children. I wouldn't mind that. Just like bam, have an invisible children. You don't even have to look after them. There is a theory that the orang bunyan is considered a jinn or a half jinn because they have similar characteristics where they are unseen and they live alongside us but just in a different realm. Jinns are also said to be able to marry humans, and that's how the orang bunyan actually came to be. The crossbreeding between a jinn and a human. Put them together, and orang bunyan comes out, according to the legends. And the human that interbreeds with the jinn is usually a witch or a shaman because they are the ones that are able to interact with the jinn. When regular people encounter an orang bunyan, they would notice a sudden fog or mist enshrouding them. They would seem like they are being plagued by the forest and would end up walking in circles only to arrive at the same spot where they left. And soon they would find themselves in Alam Zara, or the realm of the hidden elves. Remember when we were going to the money bunker, we were lost in the forest, right? There was a point we did get lost in the forest, but we didn't go into any hidden realm or whatever. Or maybe we were. So there was a red light in one of our videos, in our ghost hunting videos. Maybe there was an orang bunyan watching us. Just staring at us. Maybe we were in the hidden realm. Who knows? And this is the case with Muhammad Azaru, a hiker who went missing in Broga Hill, Malaysia, and was found 7 days later, perfectly fine. His story is one of the most bizarre and compelling eyewitness accounts of the orang bunyan, and he even went on TV to tell his story. To give some context, right, Broga Hill is a very popular hiking spot. It's not some ulu, secluded hill or mountain in Malaysia. And I guess you could say relatively easy climb in Malaysia because a lot of people go there, families go there. It's not a very strenuous, steep hike. So for Azaru to get lost there and disappear is quite strange. When he was at the peak, Azaru realized that everything around him became foggy and unclear. He said he started feeling disoriented and couldn't make out where he was. Then he spots a young girl dressed in white in the distance, beckoning him to follow her. When asked what time it was when he saw this child, he said it was between 6 to 7 p.m. because that's around the time he reached the peak of the mountain. So he knew, like, oh, I reached the peak around 6 to 7, that's when I saw the girl. And it is during this time, the time of the Maghrib prayer, that the orang bunyan are said to be more active or would come out and interact with humans. And this is exactly the time where Azaru saw this child in white.
Budak saya ikut dia.
Nampak budak? Kenapa awak ikut budak tu?
Masa tu saya tak nampak habis dah, saya dah kena pukau dah.
Budak tu apa rupa dia?
Budak tu budak kecil, budak perempuan, putih. Lepas pakai budah, pakai baju jubah putih.
Pukul berapa agak-agak?
Dalam 6.30 nak ke 7 lebih.
After following the child, he arrived at a huge, spacious cave which he claimed was the border entrance to Alam Zara, the realm of the hidden elves. There, he saw 4 elves all dressed in white robe and all stunningly beautiful. One elf was the patriarch, the male head, one was the wife, and 2 were the daughters, one of which was the one that brought him to the cave. While he was there, the Orang Bunyan looked after him and gave him food and shelter. When Azaru was asked what they did in the cave for 7 days, he said he thought he was only in there for 3 days. And this is a common phenomenon when interacting with the Orang Bunyan. They are said to be able to manipulate time. Time moves differently in Alam Zara and in the real world. That's why Azaru thought he was only there for 3 days, when in fact he was missing for 7 days in our earthly realm. But during those 7 days that he was in the cave, he said that they recited the Quran every day, and that's all they did. I mean, not trying to be mean, but that sounds pretty fucking boring if you're just gonna read the Bible or the Quran every day. Just saying, they never play soccer, meh? Like, they never play football or play, go forage sunflowers. But the Orang Bunyan are said to be super religious, and Azaru would follow them in reciting the Quran. Another thing that happened was that throughout his stay in the cave, the eldest daughter of the Orang Bunyan would repeatedly ask for his hand in marriage. And it seems like these elves really want to get with us humans, because this is another common thread where female Orang Bunyan would lure men into the forest and trap them there. And they want to intermarry with humans for some reason. I don't know why. And Azaru, being the Sigma male that he is, rejected her proposal.
Nak kahwin dengan dia ke tak? Saya tolak, saya ingat family.
Damn, what a start. He also mentions that there were no houses there as he was only at the border of the elf village. But if he were to accept the elf's proposal, he would cross over the border into the main village of the hidden elves where they reside, in turn becoming a permanent resident himself. And isn't that quite a tempting proposition? Like, would you guys accept a Chiobu elf asking you to marry her, and then you'll be part of their civilization, you'll be part of their atas high royalty civilization where you'll get to dress in white robes like PAP every day and wear golden armor? Would you accept if a hunky elf asks you to marry him?
I'll ask him if he's good at Overwatch first.
But their realm no computer.
They're like
You
the what?
fucking nerds, yeah. On the 7th and final day, after rejecting the female elf's proposal multiple times, Azaru said a snake fell onto his chest. More specifically, a cobra fell on his chest. And that snake told him, sunlight shines on the eyes following the sunlight. And soon after that cryptic message, he was found sitting on a trail on Broga Hill. I guess he really pissed off that female elf by rejecting her. She's like, get the fuck out of here, you asshole. Rejecting my proposal? How dare you reject my proposal? Nobody rejects my proposal. Following that, Azarul was then rushed to the hospital. Whether that story is true or not, I mean, we don't really know, but we'll get to debunking this story later on. However, this is only one of many stories of people being kidnapped by the Orang Bunyan. Another story recounts the tragic tale of Ashraf Hassan, a 29-year-old runner who vanished without a trace, also in Malaysia. But this time, he didn't make it back, and this time, the Orang Bunyan sounded evil. Muhammad Ashraf Hassan, also known as Acap, was an experienced ultra runner from Johor, Malaysia. On March 23rd, 2019, so relatively recent, just 6 years ago, Acap joined the 25-kilometer Gopeng Ultra Trail in Perak, Malaysia, along with 485 other participants. He was in perfect health and ready to take on this run. I mean, after all, he was an experienced runner and had completed similar trail runs before, so this is easy to him, this is nothing to him. He was even seen helping another runner take a photo at the top of Bukit Batu, which showed that he was doing okay at that point in time. However, Acap did not show up at the finish line. He was last seen at the 6th checkpoint of the race, roughly 20 kilometers in, before vanishing without a trace. He left behind a wife and a child. Even after conducting one of Malaysia's biggest search and rescue operations, Acap was still nowhere to be found. Hundreds of people, police, fire department personnel, K9 units combed the entire region and more, searching in every nook and cranny, even visiting hospitals, hotels, and villages just to check whether Acap was hiding or not. But they still found nothing. The police even stated that the possibility of a wild animal attack was slim, as the area was very safe, and besides, they would have found his body if it was an animal attack. Organizers said that it was impossible for Acap to get lost on the trail because it is very easy to follow and very safe. Authorities also claim that Acap not being found despite the huge scope of their search effort is impossible. Like, it's impossible for him not to be found. But then, people started reporting strange occurrences that happened during the search for for Achap. Some people reported hearing Achap's voice calling out to them, but when they approached the voice, he was nowhere to be found. Others reported smelling the scent of fresh cooking, which as mentioned is the signature scent of the Orang Bunyan. Or maybe someone just brought KFC on the search. Maybe they were hungry. Could be. There is an audio recording of one of the members of Achap's search team that surfaced, allegedly from an ustaz, which is a religious teacher.
Kalau cerita betul, Pak King kena 8 ada lah. Tapi Allahualam, dia kata rasanya ada 2 orang, 2 grup yang akan bawa keluar ni nanti. Akan paksa dia keluar. Masalahnya suka sama suka, Pak King. Bukan buat benda terlarang ke gaduh ke tidak.
According to the audio recording, the search for Achap was successful. They did find him, but Achap did not want to come out. The search team said that they managed to open the door to the Orang Bunyan realm, most likely through spiritual rituals and processes, and they actually saw Achap, but Achap told them that he didn't want to come out. He simply turned around and went back into the Bunyan realm, according to the audio recording that you guys just heard. I guess he decided to marry the elf. He fell for it. Yeah, I think Achap chose to marry the elf. If we're entertaining this story that the Orang Bunyan is real, it sounds like Achap. As opposed to Azaru, he chose to marry the elf, and that's why he can't come out, or he won't come out. The recording said that Achap has chosen to marry an Orang Bunyan, and he's also being tricked into thinking that he's living a lavish life with beautiful women and delicious food. But in reality, according to the ustads in the audio recording, he was sitting between rocks in the jungle and eating snails. And they even found snail shells, presumably left by Achap. So Achap is being tricked by this Orang Bunyan into thinking that, oh, he's marrying a beautiful elf, he's eating delicious food in this spacious compound, but in reality, he's just surviving on scraps, sitting on rocks, eating snails in the forest. So he's being tricked by the Orang Bunyan. And naturally, many started to doubt the authenticity of the audio recording. But a few hours later, another video that supports this audio recording surfaced, and it came from another member of Achap's search party. This video shows a group of people from the search party chanting prayers, while others seem to be pulling and grabbing at something in the bushes. You know, I wish that the video was clearer, but it is taken on a mobile phone at night. But we do see people, you know, interacting with something in the forest. We can see people beating bushes and tugging on something, although unfortunately it's not clear what they are interacting with. But many are saying that the people in this video are trying to pull Achap out of the Bunyan realm, or perhaps even making contact with an Orang Bunyan, negotiating with it like, hey, release Achap. Achap's mother was even seen calling out to her son in another video.
Stop! Yeah. Woo! Stop! Mak sini Syab, sini. Nampak mak tak Syab?
That's just so sad to see, man. I mean, you can really hear her pain and sorrow in her voice. And it also looks like she's sort of guiding Achap towards her voice. She's not even searching for Achap. She's just standing there and like calling out into the forest like, Achap, come here, follow my voice. You would think that she believes that he's being held hostage in the Bunyan realm, and she's just trying to guide Achap to her voice. At least that's what I infer from this video. Till this day, Achap has yet to be found. The search team only found a water bottle, but even that didn't belong to Achap. It's been over 5 years and there's still no closure on this very heartbreaking case. There are many such similar cases all around Southeast Asia and the world, where people just mysteriously vanish without a trace in the jungle. But there's probably a reason why there are so many disappearances in places like these. Because when it comes to mysteries in the jungle, forests, rivers or mountains, honestly it's gonna be tough to find a mystery there. I mean, these places are very dangerous and you can easily lose your way, just like how we did when we were exploring the muddy bunkers in Singapore. And we're in Singapore. Like Singapore, how do you get lost? You just walk straight, you reach a building already. So yeah, it's very common to get lost in places like the jungle, and more likely than not, the victim would have gone off course, perhaps to take a pee, lost his way back and succumbed to the elements. But I have to say, it is very weird that Achap's body has never been found despite the enormous search effort. Achap is also an experienced runner, so he should be very used to these conditions already. So to be fair, it is super strange that he just vanished finished like that. For Azaru's case, I did find it weird that the entire interview had weird cuts and awkward moments where Azaru didn't finish his sentences or had his answers omitted entirely. You can clearly tell that it's been edited lah. This episode has been edited.
Dan ni dia duduk dalam gua.
Betul hampir masuk dalam gua?
Saya duduk dalam gua.
Apa rupa gua tu sebenarnya?
Gua tu lapang, dia ada pasir. Dia luas.
Whether to make Azaru sound more convincing or not, we don't know because I don't think we'll ever see the raw footage. But yeah, I did find it odd that the interview had weird and awkward cuts. And usually people who lie won't be able to keep their stories straight and the details always change, but this is the only interview I could find of Azaru, so it's difficult for me to tell whether he's lying or not. When it comes to folklore and mythical creatures and cryptids, it's always impossible to prove or disprove them. We have never had solid evidence of these creatures, even though almost every culture has their own forest-dwelling creature. For example, Kamikakushi in Japan, which we recently talked about, and it describes the abduction of people by forest spirits. Then we have goblins and elves in German and Irish folklore. It's a very common creature, you know, elves, people in the forest all around the world. But maybe we don't need any proof or evidence. Maybe it's better that these creatures remain unsolved, because at the end of the day, they are useful symbols that our human brains cling onto to help us cope and explain the unexplainable. Whether the orang bunyan is real or not, that's up for you to decide. But these are two very interesting cases of a supposed orang bunyan abduction. That's it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed today's story and today's dive into the orang bunyan. Let me know if you guys want me to talk about any other mysteries, folklore, conspiracy theories in and around Asia. I'll do it. Bye guys!